Amazingly, this week I managed to procure an actual live zit.
A live
one. A real live one. So you're going to show me how to cover it up so it
How to
looks
conceal a pimple.
flawless.
I know you only did it for this segment.
Exactly.
Because normally you are flawless.
You make
and
me
live
flawless.
a glamorous life, right?
All right, so right here on the lip, which is also a really sensitive place to get it.
Generally, they are sensitive. It doesn't matter where they are, especially if they are you've just woken up in the morning and gotten one. It's always a disappointing way to wake up in the morning.
I have to tell you, Buffy, I have a confession for everybody. I squeezed it. I did squeeze it.
You know,
I had to. It was pulsing. It had a life of its own, and it was driving me nuts. So anyway,
totally get it.
Okay.
Everybody, as much as we try and tell you, don't pick, don't push, don't squeeze. Even I am guilty of doing it.
Okay,
it's
good.
Really, really hard not to. But here I'm going to give you some tips on how to get the best out of your coverage for it, so you can at least hide it until it's gone.
Great.
All right?
First step.
Well, we always want to start out with clean skin, clean tools.
Right.
Because we don't want to reinfect the area and make it worse. We want it to go away as quickly as possible, right? So what we want to do is we want to start out with a clean cloth. We want to give yourself a good scrubbing.
Just water?
Water and a cleanser and soap and water. It really doesn't matter. It's what you're comfortable with. Just keeping it nice and clean.
Okay.
Just so that we're not reinfecting anything.
Okay.
I do suggest cleaning perhaps your brushes with alcohol just to, again, so we're not spreading bacteria around. Here's a good tip. What you can do is you can get your eye drops that you have, and most people have in their bathroom, in their
eye drops.
Eye drops, specifically ones for red eye removal.
That's amazing. So it actually gets rid of the red in the zit.
It's going to get rid of the red in the zits, or minimize it at least.
That's amazing.
And what you're going to do is you're going to take your drops, you're going to put a couple drops onto a clean Q-tip, and you're going to hold it to the zit for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Wow. That's a fantastic idea.
And just like it does with your eyes, it gets the red out.
Does it do anything for the inflammation?
It does, because it helps reduce inflammation as well. So if it's a little raised, it will take the bump down a little bit.
I love that tip.
Then our next step that we want to do is we want to moisturize the area as best as possible.
Now, in terms of moisturizers, do I have to go for the non-oil, non-comedogenic, that kind of stuff, or are we just looking at moisturizing that one little thing to cover?
We just kind of want to moisturize the area, just simply because it's really hard to cover up if you've got dry skin.
Right, and it gets dry around the edge.
It gets dry around the edges.
And that makes the makeup go on really clumpy. I found that when I use concealers, they don't tend to last very long. So what am I doing to not make it last?
Could be the type of concealer you're using. Specifically for this type, we want to use something that's a little thicker in consistency.
Otherwise it starts to look cakey, and then it cracks and it dries, and you end up...
And you're constantly recovering it, and you end up actually highlighting the area instead of concealing the area.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Buffy. Okay, what's next?
My favorite concealers are the matte concealers, and they come in these sort of little pots too. Excuse me for, there's not much left because I am a working makeup artist and I use this quite a bit. The other one I really like is a new product that's been out for just a little while, and it's the L'Oreal True Match. These are great. They come in a crayon stick, so you can literally just kind of dab it on there or write around. I always like things that look like crayons and you can write all over your face.
Right.
But these are great because they blend really, really well. They come in a myriad of colors, so you can choose one that matches your skin tone. Once we've picked our concealer, we're going to either use our clean fingers,
clean hands,
or a sponge or a brush.
Okay, what kind of brush?
I like to use one that's a little bit fluffier but still small. And the reason is because I want to kind of push the makeup into the area so that we're not rubbing back and forth.
That may be why mine doesn't last very long.
Because you're not getting maximum coverage. And if you're
pushing it in,
you get a little bit more coverage. And a smaller one is better because you really want to concentrate it just on the area and not everywhere else.
That's great. Okay, great tip.
You can use a sponge as well. These ones a lot of makeup artists love because it comes in an egg shape and there's a pointy area, and the same sort of thing. You get that same sort of motion that you can dab in.
So you're going to use the MAC product.
That's correct, yeah.
All right, and the brush.
And the brush. And like I said, I'm a professional. I tend to use brushes because fingers are not always
Yeah,
most
people-
welcome on my clients.
Yeah.
But it also allows you to be a little bit more precise, which is another
Right.
reason why I really like using
Okay.
brushes as well.
All right.
All right.
Let's cover this baby.
We are going to cover it. All right. So again, like I said, we're just going to keep dabbing and pressing into the area, and we're going to cover it. And once we've got it covered, you can kind of use the brush to sort of just slightly go around the edge, just like that, so we can blend it in. And once we feel we've got the coverage we need, what I suggest then is move on to your powder and give it, again, a really light dusting of powder. And we want to do, again, a pressing motion as opposed to a sweeping motion, just because we don't want to disturb what you've just done. And we don't want to go back over the area too much. And then there you go. All gone.
That's great. I love the powder. So a compressed powder or any kind of powder,
Any kind of powder that
but
you
use the brush
But use the brush. And
for dabbing.
for dabbing
See,
again.
I haven't done that, and that might be why mine doesn't last as long.
That's probably why yours isn't lasting long. Plus, you have to remember, when you sweep back and forth, you're moving the makeup around again.
Right.
So you're losing a bit of the coverage you just
Right.
used.
See, magical.
Magic.
Gone.
All gone. Perfect and beautiful.
I'm seeing rainbows and unicorns again. I love it. Thanks, Buffy.
You're very welcome.